Alright, so we're doing this again. Not really talking to anybody, or I don't know, just kind of faffing around. But that's okay. I have no idea if this is even going to be watchable because I have my air mover on. I'm not alone in the house, so I have to at least keep it down a little bit. This could be really noisy, really annoying, and I wouldn't know because nobody knows. I'm like going around and around and around because you spin me right round, baby, like right round. And the thing is with Ruby, I noticed that I was kind of going on online interpreters because I cannot for the life of me figure out how to set up an interpreter on my computer. So, I mean, there's your hacker level genius right there, is I can't figure out how to set up an interpreter on my own computer. But I've noticed that on like this other site that I think is run by the guy who created the language, that some of my commands weren't really coming in. So I guess different interpreters like do different things, or oh man, I don't even know what's going on. But let's continue on from where we were, or where I was, because screw you people. We'll just do this means war. Cause Daffy Duck. Now that we can direct our programs using if-else statements, can we? We can produce different results based on different user input. Groovy! In this project, we'll combine control flow with a new Ruby string method of Daffy, whatever, replacing each S with... Okay. Okay. Oh, string, please. Bloody hell. Hello. Hey, hello, hell. Nothing to do here. Your string is hello. Okay. Hooray, I've been doing this for 3 days in a row. If user input dot include S, user input G sub, I learned that in a different website actually, because I was doing like really quick lessons on a Ruby centered website, and I remember G sub. I didn't really learn that much with it. I forgot what it was, so I mean I didn't really learn it, but I remember G sub. Nothing to do here. Include question mark? So it's the question mark and exclamation points that I really don't get just yet. But let's run that again. Sys is stupid. Now becomes this is stupid. Now well, okay, this thing's smarter than I am. Getting user input. First, we should print a statement to prompt the user for input, and then put that variable using gets. Chump, I was correct. So why couldn't I get it to run on anything? Use print to ask the user for input. Maybe was I doing puts instead of print? Was that? Well, anyway. Print. Say something, and then user input equals gets dot chomp. Chicken was okay, so that did run, so I'm not stupid. Well, you said 90. Let's all go to hell. Whoa. Oh, okay. Duh. That would help. Help if I had the right one. Say something. I don't want to do that either. You said chicken was. Okay, so I'm not completely retarded. Okay, downcase. We want to make sure we capture both S and S in the user's input. We could separate if-else statements to handle this, but we can also use downcase to convert the user's input to all lowercase. That way we only have to search for S. Ooh, that is, so it is case sensitive. Cool. But we'll do, oh, I broke it. So we'll do an if-else statement. If, user input dot case. Wait a minute. So the exclamation mark means that it alters all instances of its object. What does a question mark do? Guess we'll get to that in a minute. Otherwise, Ruby will create a copy of user input and modify that instead. So check the first exercise if you need help. I want to do something else. I might be able to force a string because I'm dumb, and this is dumb too because I can't get it to type half the time. Hello. Okay, so I'm not completely retarded. Okay. Setting up the if branch, part 1. That's where I had time to add a little flow. So if the if half of our branch, for the if half of our branch, we want to check whether the user's input contains an S. We can do that using Ruby's include method, which evaluates to true if it finds what it's looking for and false otherwise. Substring, what? As a general rule, Ruby methods that end with a question mark evaluate to the Boolean values true or false. Okay. If string to check. That's the part that I hate, is like string to check. But oh well. So I mean, a lot of this is not being particularly substring. I don't think the substring is necessary because that would be something else. Okay, so question basically is it or is it not? Okay. We want to check user input for substring S. Write an if statement in the editor. It should check to see if user input includes S. Now print a string of your choice to the console if it finds S. Oh, shit. Okay, that's not gonna work. If string to include. Here we go again. Underpants, underpants. I like Captain Underpants. Anybody remember that? That was on the Dave Pilkey site. Let's say anybody. Nobody's watching. Do I just need to... We'll do exactly what it says and then learn what I'm doing wrong later. I literally just did exactly what it told me to do. If user input include S. User put. Thanks for making that extremely clear and easy to understand. Whoop. Man, I can't type. Again, I really don't understand the difference between print and puts, so bear with me here. Okay, so if string to check include S, put this and else put just that. I don't care. Okay, run. Say something. Hello. Undefined local variable, but god damn. Substring. Let's try that then. You. If string to check include substring, we could do that using include question mark. It's literally the same line. Congratulations! You've officially just not taught me anything. Let's start from lesson 1. If else statement. Well, we already saw it talk like a window licker. First, we should print a statement to prompt the user for input. Gets.chomp. Use print to ask the user for input. So is print. I'm not even gonna try. Declare a variable called user input chomp. Down case. Okay. If see, it's not. It didn't even talk about, you know, stringing this together. Whatever it's called. String chain. Boolean values true or false. Include S. If string to check include S. Print hello. Else print butts or but. Looks like your if statement syntax isn't quite right. Oh. I forgot about the end. F. This is literally what it told me to put. Damn. Exercise 1. Where is it? It didn't properly explain G-sub yet. Nowhere does it meant... Nowhere did it even slightly disclose G-sub. Right now, it's basically saying copy and paste lesson 1. This is... I guess I could have just stared at this for 45 minutes. My gosh. Who came up with this? I swear, I spent 8 hours dealing with stupid people at work. And I come here and I have to deal with this fucking worst written lessons I've seen in a long time. I don't even know why I'm doing this. Ugh. User input include S. User include G-sub, exclamation mark, forward slash, or backslash S. Congratulations! You didn't teach me anything. It's just copy this. User input fucking S with the. And there's a comma there. It's not explain what commas do. Okay. If include S. And I believe it was that, and then it was S. Dicks. Because I don't care anymore. Dicks. Else. Print. You smell of cheese. And I think it was like print puts, because I don't trust it. You suck. Oh, well, now the whole thing's broken. Okay, puts. We go with print and puts again. I'm still not sure what I'm doing. Wait a minute. I swear, if that was the thing that kept breaking, I'm going to be slightly angry. It looks like your if statement syntax isn't quite right. Don't forget to end it with an end. What do you think that is? I mean, am I crazy? What? String to check should have been user input. Huh? Community forums. Feel free to peek back. Peek at your fucking skirt, piece of shit. There are no frequently asked questions. I don't feel like the guidance is clear. Quote, we want to check user input for the substring S. Write if statement in the editor. It should check user input includes S. For now, print a string. The only hint is to go back to the first exercise. However, replacing the S with a not about printing something. If it finds one, this means I'm not clear how to phrase this to get a useful answer. No! Perfect example how to fall. Are you serious? Take out the... This is... They say you don't need to have prior knowledge of coding. This is supposed to be baby's first coding lesson, and yet, oh, it's very obvious. You elitist, pickle-licking, dog-barking piece of shit. Okay. Print. Say something. User input equals gets chomp. Well, let's make sure that's loading mine. Downcase. User input is G sub. We'll back up and alter all this as well, so I don't have to do it again. It's... Do I have to, like, redo all this? Okay. Print. String please. User input equals gets.chomp. User input equals downcase. Or user input downcase. If user input includes S, user input G sub. I don't know what G sub really means, but no spaces. So let's continue with that. Comma. Else puts and. Puts your string is. Gets user input down case. If user input include S, let's remove Remove the spaces. My if statement syntax is perfect. I did exactly what I was told. Expecting keyword end. E-N-D purple. It's there. This is not a Ruby interpreter. This is something somebody else created. Damn. Rain, please. Put S, B, else put. Surely not. Puts. Whatever. Oh, you have to put a space at the end to keep it from crashing together. Huh. Should have figured that one out. User input equals. If user input includes S. User input G sub exclamation mark. Else put nothing to do here. Your string is blah. Okay. Now, broken. Same syntax, same everything. Wait. Oh my gosh. Moving on. You suck your ass. Well, that took half an hour. Good, now let's complete our ifs. When we find S without Ruby to replace every instant of S it finds with, we can do this with the G-sub method, which stands for global substitution. It didn't. This should have been explained before having to type all this out. When we get to later lessons, we'll explain why that is to be between slashes instead of between quotes. Note you cannot put a space between G-sub and a bit of parentheses. They literally wanted you to just copy and paste it instead of explaining it so you could do it yourself. Fuck you, CODECADEMY. Remember, if you want the explanation at the end of the method, so that Ruby will change the string in place. What? Instead of it being a global change, what the hell is that? Remove the print statement you added to your if statement and replace it with a... If I didn't have done all... If I hadn't done all this before, then it would not have run at all. You smell of cheese, you suck. Okay, okay, well. Ooh. Wait a minute. Well, that doesn't make any sense. Oh. Well, now it does actually make sense. I'm looking too far into the if statement. I couldn't have even passed the previous lesson had I not done it, so this entire thing is redundant because you had to solve this lesson too in order to even make it to this lesson. Setting up the else branch, the hard part is over. Bullshit. Now we just need to let the user know if we don't find any instances of the letter S. Add an else statement that explains a string to the user. Let them know that there are no S's in their string. But, okay, hang on. And now the fucking thing busted. Alright. I don't know why this breaks all the damn time. Okay. Run. But. You smell of cheese. You suck butt. Shit. You fuck shit. So it does act. But why is that required? Like, it should... What? If and else it... Yeah, I figured that wouldn't work, so... How do I keep it wet? Why does that only show up with the else statement? That's weird. Actually, that's probably completely broken, and I don't know why. Referring the final string or string home stretch. Now that we want to display the Daffy Duckified string to the user, you can use that using the string interpolation we learned earlier. Add a put statement that uses the string interpolation to show the user their transformed string. Well, I did that. Uh-oh. Ouch. What? Well, why did it keep that? Bastard. No. Stinky. I really don't know why it doesn't continue on. Like, that end statement, like, if I do that, is it going to change? Stow. You stuck stow. No. Oh. Wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, okay. That's why. That's why. Well, that's silly. Okay. Okay, but let's... I'm not even gonna do that. Okay. Congratulations. Great work. Now you might improve the project. You could add an additional if statement to reprompt the user for input if they don't enter anything. Think about how you might account for words in which letter C sounds like an S. Think about how you might preserve the user's original capitalization. It's just multiple if statements. if they don't enter anything. I think else if is the first to come in. Else if put these are not kid-friendly streams. Okay, actually, ooh. Okay, so there's that. I'm gonna actually make this slightly more PC. Oh gosh. I just don't know how to make it like cycle. And that annoys me because it should cycle. And I'll be honest, RPG Maker basically auto-generated the code, and I could actually load that up and probably oh. Oh. Let's see. Is it? Okay, it is loop. I remember it was loop. I just don't know the word. Oh, son of a bitch. Using loops and iterators, Ruby can automate repetitive tasks for you quickly and easily. But it can't help you save 15% or more on car insurance. The while loop. Sometimes you want to repeat an action in Ruby while a certain condition is true, but you don't know how many times you'll have to repeat that action. A good example would be prompting a user for a certain type of input. If they insist on giving you the wrong thing, you may have to re-ask them several times before you get the kind of input you're looking for. To accomplish this, we use something called a while loop. Checks to see if a certain condition is true, and while it is, the loop keeps running. As soon as the condition stops being true, the loop stops. Check out the code in the editor. Can you guess what it'll do when you think you know? Hit run. Okay. Counter equals 1. So I'm assuming that's the object. The counter is 1. While counter is less than 11, it will put the counter and it will loop the counter until it is more than 11, and it will end at 11 or 12. I don't know. Bingo. But it's stopped at... Well, that's stupid. Oh, well. That made sense. Danger! Infinite loops. Did you see that? The loop printed out numbers 1 to 10, then stopped. This was because the loop's conditions had to continue while the counter was less than 11. Since the counter went up by 1 each time through the loop stopped when counter hit 11. What if we forgot to increment counter? It would have stayed at 1, the loop would have kept checking to see if it was less than 11, and 1 is always less than 11, and the loop would have never ended. This is called an infinite loop, and it will cause your programs to crash. Ooh. Okay. 1 equals 0. Oh, I equals 0. What? Okay. The while loop in the editor is currently an infinite loop. Correct it so it will end. Be careful if you click run away, you'll start an infinite loop. You'll have to refresh the page. Okay, while 1 is put 1. Add your code here. I'll put it below. You can't tell me what to do. I don't trust this because it's like, is counter? Oh, counters. While I is. Well, I don't want to, but okay. Puts counter. So we're there. So counter equals counter plus 1. I equals I plus 1. Or counter plus 1. Here we go again with this shit. Do I have to replace I with counter? Well, I also can't spell. I equals I plus 1. Well, wow. Okay, so they explained it under context of this counter. This might have been a command. This might have been a string, whatever the hell you want to call it. This might have been something. They changed. God damn. I mean, I suppose this is actively teaching you what the individual objects are, but wow. The until loop. The complement to the while loop is the until loop. It's sort of like a backward. In the example above, we first create a variable 1, or I, and set it to 0. When we execute a block of code until 1 is equal to 6, that block of code increments I. When I is equal to 6, the block ends. Finally, we print 6, the value of I, to the console. So while just it sets a condition where it will loop until it reaches a desired status, and you have to code it so it will continue to loop. I don't like the way that that works, because it seems like it's modifying something without a whole lot of indication as to what it's modifying. Puts counter. Counter equals 1. Counter until counter equals 10. So is it always gonna go count up? don't like the way that that looks. That doesn't... That... What? My 5 increment counter like we do in the example above. Oh, son of a... Did you mean counter? Man, I can't spell. Oh my gosh. No, it doesn't just... Until... Well, it's just freaking stupid. It does the same thing. Although, okay. I know why you would use this in programming, because it's like, while it is less than ple, the following information happens. Because there's that, but until it reaches a certain... I guess it just reads it differently depending on what you need it to do. See, it's like, I got it right, I just can't spell counter, apparently. More assignment operators. You've been using syntax like counter equals count plus 1, which works. But as you'll increasingly find with Ruby, there's always another way. The shortcut is to use an assignment operator. You already know what assignment operator equals, which sets a variable. You can update a variable with additional assignment operators, however, which include blah, blah, and wh. You're telling Ruby add 1 to counter, what? Counter plus assign a new value. Oh, okay. Okay, I get it. Okay, rewrite it. No, counter, just rewrite it. Okay, so this will be, no, the other way around. Plus equals. Thank you, keyboard. So it will count it up, but I imagine it'll also do the other way around. 1. So, and hooray! So it is up to that, and I believe if we were to just take that off, it would just show the, yeah, it would just show that, but we can force it to show the end result by printing it. So I don't want to cause an infinite loop, so no, I'm not gonna. I mean, I imagine minus would tick it down. A for loop. Sometimes you do know how many times you'll be looping, however, and when that's the case, you'll want to use a for loop. Take a look at the example for loop in the editor. Can you guess what it does? For number in 1 to 10. Is this a random number generator? No, it just shows everything. Piece of crap. So if you need to show all the numbers, 1 to 109, screw you. See, I wonder if this is how people do those YouTube comments. Like, there was one where this guy said, like if you're watching in 1950, and then he just went through like 1,000 years. I wonder if he just ran a script like this. I'm dead serious. That's probably how people do stuff like that. It's just running the script. Because I could probably do like 100 to 109. Derp. Look at that. Oh. Yeah. Anyway. Inclusive and exclusive ranges. Crap. You saw a bit of new syntax in the previous case. For blip, what this says to Ruby is, for the variable num in the range 1 to 10, do the following. The following was to put the number so as num took on the values of 1 to 9, one at a time. Those values were printed to the console. The reason this program counted 9 and not to 10 is because we used 3 dots in the range. This tells Ruby to exclude the final number in the count. It means go up, but don't include. If we use 2 dots, it tells Ruby to include the highest number. Ooh, now we're getting into silly territory. 1 to 15, including 15. Okay. And actually, when I took derp. Okay. Oh. Hold on. No. Okay. Good work. You're ready to build your very own for loop. Crap. Write a for loop that puts the numbers 1 to 20, including 20, either using blah, blah, blah. Okay. Check hint if you need a syntax refresh. Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay, for num in. For numbers assigned to couch in IL1, and show everything. Actually, I want to do this a slightly hard way. Yeah. We should use puts instead of print. One to 20, including 20. Using either. Why am I failing to do that now? See, I'm asking questions. No one's here to answer me, though. Up to... Well, guess what? Here's what I'm gonna do. Puts couch plus 1. Bitch. You son of a bitch. I'm gonna run the whole gamut and I'm gonna make it as complicated as possible. So, that's everything but the final number. But you can make it more complicated, but we're gonna do this for num in 1 through 20, including 20, and print num. Boo. What a... Okay, so that's not even necessary. All right. The loop method. Crap. So far, we've learned one way to repeat an action in Ruby using loops, as is often the case with deja vu. In this case, it's also possible to repeat an action using an iterator. This looks like an algebra problem. An iterator is just a Ruby method that repeatedly invokes a block of code. The code block is just the bit that contains instructions to be repeated, and those instructions can be just about anything you like. Wow. The simplest iterator is the loop method. You can create a basic but infinite loop by simply typing bleh. Ruby using curly braces. Oh, okay. Curly braces are just do and end. Knowing this, we can write a smarter loop than the one above. What? Knowing this, break. That was the word, is break, not end loop. In Ruby, curly braces are generally interchangeable with the keywords do and end. Knowing this, we could write a smarter loop than the one above. RB I equals 0 loop do 1 what? Break if I greater than 5 end. Oh gosh, this. Why does this not make sense? Okay, I equals 20. Loop. What's this supposed to be? Break if I something end. Loop I didn't think so either. Well, I've got your appropriate keywords right here. Loop I equals just less than that. Loop print if I do I have to write something? I'm not happy about that. Print. Let's do look. Here we go again with amazing instructions. The loop method. You can create a basic but infinite loop by typing loop end. What? RBI equals 0 loop do Am I supposed to type? What kind of retarded ass? Well, what's the RB then? I equals 0 loop do 1. Did they change? Like, did they change this and not this? Okay, so do the loop. Okay, so I equals 20. It's gonna start a loop in which it takes down this, and you want this to print I each time, but break if it is less than or equal to 0. I don't want it to equal anything. I want it to break at 0. -1. Okay, well, I suppose we can't win every fight. My gosh. A little over an hour, and I'm tired and my brain feels stupid. Next, the next keyword can be used to skip over certain steps in the loop. For instance, if we don't want to print out the even numbers, we can write for I in 1 blah blah blah. Next, if I %2. The remainder of I divided by 2 0, we go to the next iteration. What? The line only prints out 1, 3, and 5 because of the previous line. Use the next keyword so that you can skip to the next iteration if the number 1 I is odd. I %1 equals 0. Whoa! Goodness. Okay, well, that's an infinite loop. I think we were up to the millions. Is that even? 1 is an even number, in it? Looks like your loop doesn't print out the numbers 18 to 0. Oh, okay. Needs to be before the print. Next, if I %, I'm going with 3 this time. So less than or equal to 0. Break if, and shut up, go away. If the skip if it's odd. Why didn't you just say print only even numbers? This is legitimately the kind of thing that I wish I was. Percent to congratulations. What? Okay, so I'm still correct, and yet I still keep screwing it up. Nope. Bad news. Percent to 0. I am shocked at how bizarre this is. Oh my gosh, what am I doing wrong? I'm literally doing what it's telling me to do. Next, if print I. Why is it doing that? Oh my! Am I really stupid? Like, am I really so stupid? Or am I just tired? I don't know. I should not be live streaming this because everybody performs worse when they're... That's a line to your... I don't even know what I... What? Have I lost my mind? What am I doing wrong? This is a different lesson. For what? Next, if... Add a line to your loop before your print statement, so that you skip to the next iteration if the number is odd. Use the example above for help, but remember that skips even numbers. So I was correct the first time. I'm really confused though, because I mean, if I do 1, it's gonna just do an infinite loop. I do 3, it doesn't seem to do anything. Break if I is less than or equal to. It doesn't print out the... Because it's supposed to be skipping even numbers. Or it's supposed to be skipping... It's supposed to be skipping odd numbers. Why is it doing that? Skipping even numbers. This program, this site sucks. This legitimately sucks. I'm not learning anything. I'm having to figure this out. Like, it's giving me these little things, and then I'm having to... If the remainder of... In the above example, we loop through the range of 1 through 5, assigning each number to 1 in turn. Or to I, sorry, because I and 1 look extremely similar. They really do, like, at least to my eyesight. It has to be, like, that big. I have grandpa eyes. If the remainder of I divided by 2 is 0... I don't... 3! I don't know. 1.5? 1.5? That didn't solve dick. I don't know. I don't actually know the number. Five, 3, 2, 13. I don't know how to... If the remain, then we go to the next iteration. God damn it! Here is what you might be trying to do. I equals 20. I'm going to move this over to my other monitor so I can check this. I equals 20, loop do. Next, if I %2... You have got to be kidding. What does that mean? I forgot what that means. This is a moderator. This dude. if they didn't cover that. And if they did, it was so long. I've slept since then. I've slept since What? Say, I'm not saving shit. Whatever, stream's over.